Hello and welcome to the WhyKnox podcast brought to you by Visit Knoxville. My name is Jody Collins of Feral Giant and I'll be your host on this journey. What we'll be doing is interviewing different folks around Knoxville that make Knoxville the great place it is to live. We'll have staples that you see around town all the time, but we'll also have some lesser known folks, people behind the scenes that make this a great city. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. And if you'd like to share the podcast on social media, be sure to tag us at Visit Knoxville and use the hashtag WhyKnox. Without much further ado, here's the episode.
My name's Rob Howard, and I work for Keller Williams Real Estate. My business partner, Brandon Hutchison, and I have Hutch and Howard, which is our own personal real estate group within Keller Williams.
Okay. Where are you originally from?
I grew up in Polk County, which, if you don't know where that is, it is in Tennessee. If you go any further south, you're in Georgia. If you go any further east, you're in the mountains of North Carolina. So just down in the very bottom of Tennessee, about an hour and 15 minutes from here.
Okay. And what brought you to Knoxville?
Oh, I was that guy in a town of 5,000 that thought that he knew everybody. Truthfully, I did. And when I graduated from Polk County High School, I came up to visit UT Knoxville and just, fell in love with the campus and the life and how many people there were around. And once I stepped onto campus, I just decided I was going to meet everybody.
Okay.
And, I probably knew as many people on campus as I knew in Polk County. So, okay. I didn't conquer all 26,000, but I did my very best to meet and know as many, and so many fascinating people, walking around.
Oh my God. How many athletes did you go up to? You're like,
no,
this is a shorthand with them. They're like, I already know you. I know all your stats.
Yeah, exactly. No, this ages me a little bit, but I would always just at least once a week pass Peyton Manning going to and from the humanities building. So, nice. I always say, oh yeah, I went to high school with that guy.
I don't know if I've ever told you this. This is still funny. My buddy Greg was going to UT at that time, and he was going there when Peyton Manning was like, I've made a decision. I'm coming back to the University of Tennessee for my senior year. He made that big announcement.
Yeah.
Well, Greg said there was one building over there where it emptied out on the first floor, and there were two doors that faced one another. Mm-hmm. So you walked out, and then if you're on one side, you immediately turned right and walked away. If you're on the other side, you turned left and walked out. He's like, never seen Peyton Manning before that. The day after he made that announcement, he walked out of one door and the other door opened, and walking out of it was Peyton Manning. Wow. And he went, and he said he just looked at Peyton, and then that minute he was like, you gave up millions of dollars. And he said, Peyton just smiled and went, I know, and just kept walking.
Oh, geez.
But he was like, that's the only time I saw Peyton Manning my entire time at UT.
Well, a funny quarterback story. I was working for the Daily Beacon and covering, it was before the Ice Bears, it was the Knoxville Speed.
Oh, yeah. I did their first program.
Oh, really? That's cool.
For them, yeah.
Well, I was covering them for the Beacon and sitting there with Nick Gates. I don't know if you know who Nick Gates is. He used to cover sports for the Sentinel for a long time. And in that same box was Jimmy Duncan Jr., and that was kind of a neat thing. But
yeah,
they paused that hockey game because Heath Schuler announced that he was going to go pro. That's my memory of as far as quarterbacks. I do remember when Peyton did that, but then also remember Heath Schuler because I think he was a junior when I was a sophomore and junior when I started.
So did the Speed lose that game because of that announcement?
I don't remember the score. I just remember the moment.
From here on out, they lost like 11-0.
Womp, womp.
11-2. They were up 2-0.
Oh, yeah.
Funny Heath Schuler story. I remember his first season at the Redskins. They came back here and did an exhibition game against the Tennessee Oilers. It's the first year the Oilers had moved from Houston to, they were playing in Memphis at that point, but they did a preseason game, and I had just been away at football camp all week, and was dying, like underhydrated,
Right.
underfed, overheated, all that, and literally got off the bus at Fulton High School. Dad was sitting there and he was like, "All right, we're going to the game." Took me to the UT game. We went. My dad, big shocker, not a small man. This is back when he was really not a small man, before he lost all the weight.
Wow.
We go out. It's hot as sin. It's like August. We go up. He goes to sit down. He had a big giant cup of Coke.
Yeah.
And he sat down and the bottom of it hit his knee and spilled all over the guy in front of him.
Oh, no.
And so I watched the guy turn around. Now, it was me, who was playing football and not a small man. It's not a small boy. My dad, my uncles, who were all not small men.
Yeah.
I saw that guy turn around with rage in his face. "You mother!" And he looked at my dad and he went, "It's okay, no problem." Like that. And Dad just started smacking him on the back, trying to dry out. He's like, "I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry." And the guy was like, "Oh." He's like, "It's fine. It's fine. It's fine." But I just remember looking at his face like, I think he's going to punch. He's not going to punch Dad. Like, it was a funny thing. But we watched Heath Schuler play the Tennessee Oilers. I remember that. I was like, why do they not do that more? You can fit 103,000 people in that stadium.
Yeah, no joke.
Seems like that should be a thing. So did you stay in Knoxville after that, or did you move away?
Yeah, I took a job with UT.
Okay.
Did marketing for the food service. And
Okay.
And then went from there to do marketing at several small colleges from I guess the furthest north was West Virginia.
Okay.
And down southeast Tennessee,
Okay.
near where I grew up.
Near Polk County.
But
Okay.
yeah, they were all over I worked in a whole bunch of colleges, but I never left Knoxville.
Okay.
Got my first house here in South Knoxville, and that's funny because it was right behind this laundromat, and it was like the roughest part of town, but it was cheap, and it was a whole lot better than renting. And if you fast forward 20 years, that laundromat turned into Alliance Brewery down on
awesome.
Sevier Avenue. Yeah, in my little house, I paid $32,000 for this. It was a piece of junk, and that house now would sell for 150. Or up to 200. Just because of its location. I regret
crazy.
not keeping a hold of that.
What made you choose UT? Was it because it's kind of in state?
It's a crazy story, but okay. I traveled. My dad was still working a lot, but my mom took me around to look at several different colleges.
Okay,
and we went to. I'd done Boys State at Cookeville at Tennessee Tech, and I knew that wasn't where I needed to be. And we went to Swanee. The University
College
of the South.
Yep. University of the South.
Went there and looked, but we weren't rich, so I couldn't really afford that one. Then we went to UTC, which is that's kind of the big commuter school from Polk County where I grew up. And it had rained that day, and as I was walking around campus, it just smelled bad. It smelled like so we
love Visit Chattanooga. But
I love Chattanooga too. There's so much.
You love Knoxville so much more.
But Knoxville Knoxville fits like a glove, and Chattanooga. I guess it's a little weird. My uncle 5 times removed was John Ross. My mom's a Ross. Okay. And so Ross's Landing is where they, where he settled and basically started up Chattanooga. Okay. So, in some ways Chattanooga would be a great fit, but then in other ways it's like, gosh, I don't know. Yeah. When I stepped on campus at Knoxville, I knew it was and even
it wasn't a rainy day.
No, it was the clouds parted and
the sun
I could
shone
hear,
the sun's sphere.
Mm-hmm. And the Lord said, "This is where you need to be."
Thee will go to the University of Tennessee. Knoxville.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that's funny.
And I loved from the first night staying at Reese Hall till graduating. I sat next to Paige Travis. I don't know if you know
Yeah.
Paige. We sat next to each other at graduation, and Wilma Dykeman was there. She was the keynote speaker.
Wow.
And
That's
just,
awesome.
aside from her, because we listened to her, but aside from that, we kind of cut up and had a good time. So, but I never had a day that I really, really hated being on campus, and still get the warm fuzzies whenever I drive up Melrose.
All those changed so much now.
Yeah,
It's weird to me seeing like that new giant Haslam business building. Where it's like, good Lord, man, this is not what things ain't like they used to be.
Yeah, that's true. But in some ways they're not. I still pull up to the back dock sometimes when I'm parking, when I'm going to either the stadium or going to Thompson Bowling, and there's a little back dock in the back of the communications building where when I worked at the Daily Beacon, every night we would set out the pages so that this little van would pull up and take the paper to Athens, Tennessee to print.
Okay.
And so, as long as that back dock's there, it kind of feels like, UT's a little bit mine.
It's kind of how I feel about how to get into WTK. Like that has not changed since God knows when.
Oh yeah,
you go underneath on that dock to where it's like the first time I went, I was like, "Am I supposed to be here? Like this feels."
And you bang on the door until whoever gets really mad and comes out.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I remember that too. I was a DJ, but just for like the 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. shift on like Sunday nights or something for. Maybe a few months, like over the summer.
Like I'd like to do that at UTK or DVX.
Wouldn't it be fun
to do like a late? Although I don't know that I'd want to be able to just do whatever I want to. Like I love what Wayne Bledsoe does with All Over the Road, where it's like tonight is going to be nothing but John Prine and John Prine influence night, to where he'll play like a Leonard Cohen covering a John Prine song, and he'll set up this master playlist that's everything. And I went on and I was like, does that mean I can't pick a song? I wanted to pick a song. Whereas like Derek and Rob, the Funhouse on UTK, I went in there with them and they're like, bring as many CDs as you want. We'll try and play as much as we can. I was like, okay. And then we played one. I was like, halfway through, I was like, I think they just said a cuss word. They're like, okay, we'll figure it out. It's like, oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't bring the edited version of. And it was like Jurassic 5. Like, it's like nerd rap. It's not even.
No,
like,
that's good.
Yeah, it's like they said one cuss word.
I would always play at least one or two REM songs, like old REM. This was 91, so it wasn't the 91. It was the 86 songs.
Green, off of Green.
It was off Murmur or Reckoning usually. But another little thing while I was a DJ there, one of my friends who I'd actually escorted, she was the football princess, and I got to be the football princess escort whenever at Polk County High School. But she had won Miss Tennessee.
Nice.
And to commemorate that, I played Miss World by Hole.
Nice.
And of course, that was not the most appropriate song if you're going to celebrate someone. But on the other hand, it's a memory.
Yeah. You mentioned your dad. What did your parents do for a living?
Both of my parents had, I call them jobbies. They have a job, they have a regular job, and then they have a hobby job. Okay. And they probably wouldn't call it that. They would probably say that's, the extra that we use to make money to have fun, on top of regular salaries. But Dad worked for, as his regular job, he worked in Cleveland at, it started out as Magic Chef, then it became Maytag, and he worked just on the line doing, making sure that the stoves were right. Yeah. And Mom was a bank secretary. She worked for Benton Banking Company, which is now no longer around.
Anything to do with the bacon? No, Alan didn't have any.
Oh no!
Alan didn't have any toehold in that.
No, those Benton folks are in Madisonville, which is funny.
So, that is funny.
Yeah, they're not in Benton.
Oh my God,
Benton, Tennessee.
Okay, what were some of their hobby jobs?
Well, Dad was, and he still does this. small town wedding photographer. He was the guy who, and he still does a lot. Any engagement pictures, any wedding pictures, the people called him, just some of those 5,000 folks, in Polk County. He's done a lot of weddings since 1970. Wow. He's been shooting weddings. And
has he switched over to digital? Or is he still shooting film?
Well, here's a funny story. In 2004, he went to Iraq, and I had a point and shoot digital camera that he took with him because Mom wouldn't let him take his fancy camera. And he brought back some of the most beautiful, kind of National Geographic quality photos taken with this crappy little camera. And so that was his transition into digital shooting. We both kind of tend to buy the same semi-pro Nikon camera or whatever.
Nikon, good man.
And mom, since about the same time, 1969, 1970, she has done hair in Polk County, and she has a set of little ladies that from the time I was born, I grew up and I had 20, 30 grandmas because everybody. Everybody that came into the beauty shop, they loved little Robbie Howard, and they wanted whatever. I had all the grandparents, and I love that.
Get you some Werther's Originals from the bottom of their purse.
Exactly. Well, one of them, she's like 98 years old, was telling me, back when you were little, you used to crawl up on my lap and ask me to tell you a story. And I was like, oh, that's sweet.
The name of your podcast. Tell me a story.
Tell me a story. Yeah.
But, do you think your parents will listen to this?
I don't know. Maybe.
Shoot. I'll give you an idea off mic. I have an idea for a good Christmas present for your dad.
Okay.
But I'll have to remember afterwards. So you photograph a lot. Was it seeing your dad do photography work got you into that, or was that working at the Beacon kind of got you into that, or a little bit?
Yeah, actually, my dad. I guess one of my earliest memories is going into his photography darkroom, and he would have the photo enlarger, and he would let me put different little toys or whatever on the thing and expose it, and then let me develop. He called them photograms, and it was just it was not necessarily a negative that we were doing. It was just but anyway, I was like 2 and 3 years old, and got the smell of the chemicals, and got the whole experience, the tactile experience of photography after you snap the picture. Yeah. And I think that was one of the things that made me just love taking pictures, and it's never been a
full-time hustle,
full-time profession,
but I just always like your parents. You have the hobby gigs.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you taken him over by the community darkroom? Do you know about the Knoxville community darkroom?
I love the concept, and I like going over toward Hamburg, but I just
I've never moved over. They're next to Mighty Mud now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just moved.
Yeah, I've never been in there.
Take him over there. It'd probably trip him out. To walk in and immediately smell the chemicals, be like, "Oh, I'm back." Yeah, I'm back.
I'll definitely do that.
But your job. So, what got you into real estate?
I guess it was. Let's go back a little bit beyond where I began real estate. 1999, when I bought that little house behind where is now Alliance. Yeah. My next house, I didn't sell that. I just held on to it and rented it. And I guess at that time, after living there for a little while and going to a couple of different homes and keeping the one that I sold before that, it kind of grew into landlording, and I enjoyed landlording because most of my houses were close to campus, and I had grad students or young PhD young professional
people, or straight out of college, their first house.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of those people, I I still keep in touch with a lot of my tenants from back then.
Yeah.
And I just enjoyed that so much that when my marketing job just kind of got out of hand, just traveling between West Virginia and Southeast Tennessee was kind of maddening.
Yeah.
And so when I decided to swap, I just decided to do real estate
Full time.
Yeah.
Do you ever regret not doing that marketing?
Oh, there's different things. My major at UT was PR, and so after I did a few internships and a few things in public relations, there were parts of it that just weren't for me. I loved writing, I loved doing stuff, but I don't know. It just wasn't as good a fit as being face to face with people and doing, non-media influencing.
Since you've been here for a while and you've seen a lot since then, what do you think about some of the changes around town?
Being around downtown and remembering, I think my first memory of Market Square was going to the Mercury Theater and, everything was dark and there was nobody there except a bunch of punk kids that were going to some ska show that I'd heard about and thought that it was awesome.
There were bars on the windows of every single building on Market Square.
Yeah, and you could almost see tumbleweeds blow by, and there was always a little element of fear because you never knew. And all of a sudden, when it started breaking open, I really, really was happy, that I could come down there and I could bring my friends and be, that's a place that you can be proud of.
Yeah.
That just going on Gay Street, going on Market Square, all that little area. I'm so happy that now my friends from college are bringing their kids and their grandkids even, and enjoying this place that the Old City Buskers and all the little bands and all the interesting people playing their
the hustle and the bustle.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm so happy the way that it's turned out.
And the expansion from there too, like you're seeing a lot more. You talked about Alliance in South Knoxville. Then you have all this Central Avenue corridor happening over here. Oh
yeah, Remedy Coffee. Yeah, I mean, before they happened, and before like the bars around Emery Place and the nightlife that's happening around there, I would never have gone over there. I mean, maybe occasionally, just because I'm a history buff, going and I might go to Old Gray and look at McGee Tyson's little gravestone or something, but not. I would have no reason to be there if they weren't such great businesses.
Yeah. And in that vein, what are some of your favorite places to go to downtown, or what are some of your go-to like default places around town? Well,
I love all of town, and it's interesting that since I live off Western Avenue right now, and the great thing is it can be like 10 minutes you can be downtown, and like 15 minutes you can be around Bearden and on out toward Farragut. I love both of the Honeybee coffee houses. Okay. The one in West Knoxville is near my office. My office is in Turkey Creek, and so that's if it's a let's get away from the office. That's a great place. The one in South Knoxville I like better just because it's more cozy and feels a little more authentic because it's it's college kids instead of necessarily high school kids or something. Nothing against high school kids, but so I really love those. I love going to shows at Open Chord, which is there off Cedar Bluff. They've had some of the more interesting shows that I've seen in a long time. As far as music goes, I love downtown. I love the Mill and Mine. I love I used to go more than I have lately, but I really enjoy those every Tuesday night. Einstein Simplified.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
At
When
Scruffy
they play at Scruffy City Hall.
Yeah,
it's just, I don't know. It's kind of a throwback because they've been doing it for what 25, 30
yeah. They
years.
used to do it in Patrick Sullivan's.
Yeah,
all the time.
That was the first time I ever saw him. Was in the upstairs at Patrick Sullivan's, but
that big cavernous upstairs. That, God, I saw a band up there one night where literally there were 3 of us in the audience. No, there were 5 of us in the audience, 3 people in the band. We had more people standing there watching that band. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. I also carried gear up those narrow, tight stairs.
Oh, geez.
For bands a lot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, the Pilot Light's another one that those bands since Patrick Sullivan's has turned into the Longhorn or not Longhorn,
Long Branch.
Lonesome Dove.
Lonesome Dove. Yeah, you said Longhorn. I mean,
Longhorn Steaks.
Oh God,
I don't know what
the Long Branch. How many nights did I see some weird metal band on the second floor of the Long Branch?
Yeah.
Where I was like, this should not be happening at all. At all.
Where's the steel guitar?
Yeah. Do you like to get around to the parks around town?
I live close to Victor Ashe, and Patton, my dog, he likes to go wander around that area, and I really like going and watching the frisbee golf and the people who are. I don't think you're allowed to call it frisbee golf, disc golf, whatever.
Froth. I call it froth.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it was called on Seinfeld, so I'm going to go with froth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's fun to watch those guys do that, and there's just different sets of people running around doing all sorts of athletic things that I'm a little too chubby to take on.
But no, that's why you need to get out there.
I know.
Get out there and
I know.
walk. Yeah.
Well, and Patton's an athlete, the dog, so he tags me along, and
there you go.
Whatever, he's fun.
A
lot of the other parks, I remember back in the day. They, and I think occasionally they still have shows on World's Fair Park.
Yeah, but, not as much. I can never remember. I went to one weekend long. It was Friday night through Sunday at World's Fair Park, and it was on the lawn, and it was also in the amphitheater. It was 3 days. And
is that like the Vans Warped Tour or something?
No. This was like May of 97 or May of 98. I think it was May of 98.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, the bands I remember seeing were the V-Roys performed Sunday morning. It was hot as crap. And they were in their suits dying.
Wow.
Excuse me. Ben Folds 5.
I heard the Ben Folds show. I was sitting at the 11th Street Coffee House on the back porch.
Nice.
Yep.
With Saul, probably sitting there with Saul Young.
Yep.
Bruce Hornsby.
Mm-hmm.
Fastball.
Wait, was he with the Range or was he with the Melody Makers?
I think it was just Bruce Hornsby.
Oh, okay.
Who did I say? Fastball, because they were of the moment. They were terrible. Junior Brown. Brown in the amphitheater was awesome.
Oh, that's fun.
But the funniest, Gran Torino.
Mm-hmm.
But the funniest is the opening act on Friday night. The first act Friday night was a little band with 2 members from West Tennessee called Fuel. Fuel. There were 11 of us sitting there watching Fuel.
Wow.
In the sunshine at like 5:30 p.m. on a Friday.
Uh-huh.
They were, and this is before they broke.
Yeah.
Their first album, I think, was independently released. I bought it in a tent, and it was not like out at the moment. And they were the opening, and then they came back and like headlined Moose's Music Hall.
Yeah.
Like, it was funny, like seeing. And I ended up talking to the bass player. He was a short, bald guy with like a goatee or a soul patch or something. But it was just funny because him and the guitar player, who's the songwriter, were both from West Tennessee or right outside of Nashville or something. But it was just so funny to me that like a year later they were one of the biggest bands in the country.
Oh, sure.
And they were they opened for Gran Torino, which God love Gran Torino, but it's still kind of funny that this band, that was
that's
wild.
one of the things that
I don't know what that was called, because it wasn't Hot Summer Nights.
No.
But I don't know what in the hell it was called.
I remember I don't know if that happened multiple years, but I remember seeing like Albert King and some of those people.
And I
playing.
think Live performed like the year before.
Yeah.
At that, whatever that
in
was.
the amphitheater. I mean,
Yeah.
the only thing I've been to a few weddings there, and I've been to one of the what's the mixed martial arts
MMA, UFC.
Yeah,
Really?
they down there on that underneath the big amphitheater tent.
How did I not know about this?
They
I
set
gotta
up
go.
an octagon, and I went and
gotta
watched
see
it one night.
this. You
Yeah,
gotta okay.
but I haven't seen any bands or don't know of anything still going
Other
on
than
there
the
very
symphony.
much. And it kind of it's kind of sad because I love that place.
Yeah. That leads us into our next question. What do you think the future holds for our city? It sounds like Hutch and Howard's need to sponsor some shows in the amphitheater.
Gosh, I would love that.
Yeah.
But actually, Hutch and Howard, we've decided that we are going to start doing events for, past clients and friends and all that kind of stuff. We did our first one there at Christmas at Central Theater or Central Cinema.
Yeah.
And so that's something we're looking at. Really trying to blow
Sounds like
out.
amphitheater, man.
Yeah.
Band, get a bunch of local acts. Get old.
I talked to Todd Steed, and I talked to.
Why am I blanking on the band name? Courtjar. Get Courtjar.
Oh yeah,
to perform.
Randall.
Hell
I
yeah.
love Randall.
Get
Randall
Courtjar
Brand.
to perform.
Yeah, Courtjar, Todd Steed and the Sons of Fear, Sam Quinn, whatever he's doing. Maybe Cruz Contreras too.
Get George Middlebrooks in some capacity.
Oh yeah, George. What was his Ambient
Night.
Yeah,
Ambient Night Java. I used to go to those.
Uh-huh. Yeah, those.
Or
were
you
awesome.
can get. Oh shoot, he's gonna kill me. I'm trying to remember what his band's name was. He's got a band, Stolen Sheep.
Yeah. Stolen Sheep.
They can come back.
Yeah.
He can even get his daughter Naomi to perform. Like, hell, she can probably play guitar, man. She's awesome.
Well, now we may be able. I don't know. They're blowing up so much. We may be able to get the Pinklets or.
Oh yeah.
School of Rock kids.
They'll be the headliners.
The headliners. Yeah.
They're Clemson, their dad. I love it. Their dad is one of the best guitar players in town, and they're like, he's okay. We got the Pinklets. Other than that, what do you think what do you foresee in the future of Knoxville?
Well, my hopeful side is that it just continues. I don't know how many little nightlife things that have come up, and that just keep opening up. And there's so many great little venues for the young people,
right.
or people, even people our age, to come out and play music at different venues. I just hope that keeps growing, keeps expanding, and I guess just more and more reasons to encourage people to come from all over the city, come downtown, or like I said about Open Chord, just I think it would be awesome if more venues around town. I would love to go to Fountain City and hang out and see something happen there.
In the park or wherever.
Yeah. I mean, just that's one thing that I would like to see expand. That they had that music festival in South Knoxville down on Suttree Landing this last year.
Second Bell.
Yeah. Things like that. I would love to just see those pop up, at Victor Ashe Park, at back down there at the World's Fair Park.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of what's the Vol? It's like every year. It's like right when school starts, they have the festival.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was the last concert that I went to at World's Fair Park.
Okay.
And that was, 5 years ago or something.
Yeah, I think they finally had to move it inside to Thompson Bowling because they were having problems with like weather.
Yeah.
And stuff. But yeah, I know
makes
what
sense.
you're talking about. That one always pops up for me. I was like, how do I not know about this? Like, who was it? Somebody big was playing one year. I was like, I want to go. Oh, wait, I may not be able to go this. This seems like a kid's thing.
Well, but what I learned is it's mostly for students, but then, they let me buy a ticket. So I'm sure they would let.
I'm still a student at heart.
Yeah.
Where can folks find you online?
Oh, social media. I'm Knoxville Rob. At Knoxville Rob is my
hashtag branding.
Yeah, on Twitter and Facebook. That's my personal, and then Hutch and Howard is my
Instagram though.
Business Instagram
at Knoxville Rob.
At Knoxville Rob. That's on Instagram, Twitter, basically any social media that comes up that I can earn.
Have you got your TikTok yet?
I think so.
I was kidding, but okay.
I've never talked or ticked or whatever.
Well, thank you for doing this. Now you need to get to ticking and the talking. All right, thanks, man.
That's the next goal.
See ya.